Importance of SAR/STR reporting in AML investigations. Suspicious activity reports, SARs, and suspicious transaction reports, STRs, are among the most important tools used by financial institutions to support anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing, AML/CFT, efforts. They provide financial intelligence units, regulators, and law enforcement agencies with information regarding potentially suspicious transactions and activities that may involve money laundering, terrorist financing, sanctions evasion, fraud, corruption, or other financial crimes. The CAMS framework emphasizes that the purpose of SAR/STR reporting is not to prove criminal conduct but to alert authorities to unusual activities requiring further analysis. Effective reporting strengthens financial system integrity and contributes to national and international financial crime investigations. Understanding high-profile SAR/STR cases. High-profile SARs or STRs typically involve significant financial crime exposure, substantial transaction values, politically exposed persons, PEPs, senior public officials, organized crime groups, terrorist financing concerns, sanctions violations, widespread media attention, or potential reputational risks for the institution. Such cases often require enhanced governance, heightened confidentiality, and increased oversight due to their complexity and potential consequences. The CAMS framework stresses that institutions should establish escalation procedures for high-profile matters to ensure that senior management, compliance leadership, legal counsel, and, where appropriate, the board of directors are informed of significant risks while maintaining strict confidentiality requirements and avoiding improper disclosure. Reporting high-profile SARs/STRs to management and the board. When a high-profile SAR/STR scenario arises, institutions should follow established governance and escalation procedures. Senior management should be informed of significant financial crime risks that may affect the institution's regulatory, operational, legal, or reputational standing. The board of directors should receive information regarding material risks, trends, and compliance concerns through appropriate reporting channels. However, reporting should focus on governance oversight, risk exposure, resource implications, and control effectiveness rather than unnecessary operational details. Institutions must balance transparency with confidentiality obligations, ensuring that SAR/STR-related information is disclosed only to individuals with legitimate oversight responsibilities and a demonstrated need to know. Appropriate reporting of SARs/STRs to authorities. The process of filing a SAR/STR should comply with applicable laws, regulations, and reporting deadlines within the relevant jurisdiction. Institutions should ensure that reports are accurate, complete, objective, and supported by documented investigative findings. Reports should clearly describe suspicious activities, involved parties, transaction patterns, supporting facts, and reasons for suspicion. The CAMS framework emphasizes that institutions should avoid speculation and instead provide factual information supported by evidence. SARs/STRs are generally submitted to designated financial intelligence units, FIUs, or other competent authorities through secure reporting channels. Timely reporting enables authorities to identify potential criminal activity and take appropriate investigative action. SAR/STR reporting model and best practices. A structured SAR/STR reporting model consists of detection, investigation, escalation, decision-making, filing, and post-filing monitoring. Suspicious activity is first identified through transaction monitoring, employee observations, customer due diligence reviews, or other investigative methods. Compliance personnel then evaluate available information, determine whether reporting thresholds are met, and prepare the report. Management approvals may be required depending on institutional policies. Following submission, institutions should continue monitoring the customer relationship and document any additional suspicious activity. Effective SAR/STR programs rely on strong governance, comprehensive documentation, quality assurance reviews, and ongoing employee training to ensure consistency and regulatory compliance. Maintaining supporting documentation for suspicious activity. Supporting documentation plays a critical role in AML investigations because it provides evidence supporting decisions to file or not file a SAR/STR. Documentation may include account records, customer identification information, transaction histories, wire transfer details, due diligence materials, investigation notes, correspondence, and analytical findings. The CAMS framework emphasizes that institutions should maintain complete, accurate, and organized records that demonstrate how suspicious activity was identified, investigated, and evaluated. Proper documentation supports regulatory examinations, internal audits, law enforcement requests, and future investigations. Comprehensive record-keeping also helps institutions demonstrate compliance with AML/CFT obligations and internal policies. Security and confidentiality of SAR/STR documentation. Because SAR/STR related information is highly sensitive, institutions must implement strong security controls to protect supporting documentation from unauthorized access, disclosure, alteration, or destruction. Access should be restricted to authorized personnel involved in investigations, compliance oversight, legal review, or regulatory reporting. Electronic records should be protected through encryption, access controls, monitoring systems, and secure storage environments. Physical documents should be retained in secure locations with controlled access procedures. Confidentiality requirements are particularly important because unauthorized disclosure could compromise investigations, expose institutions to regulatory penalties, and potentially constitute prohibited tipping off under applicable AML laws. Documentation Governance and Retention Framework. An effective documentation governance framework includes retention policies, access management procedures, audit trails, quality assurance controls, and periodic reviews. Institutions should retain SAR/STR related records for the period required by applicable regulations and ensure that documentation remains accessible for regulatory examinations and law enforcement requests. Audit trails should record who accessed or modified sensitive information and when such actions occurred.